Hello everyone, my name is Zoe Poucher and I will be presenting the results from a project exploring the organizational support systems in the United Kingdom. Before I begin, I would like to thank my co-authors Dr. Tamminen and Dr. Wagstaff, as well as Mitacs for funding this project with a Globalink Research Award. Researchers have found that athletes experience stress based on their involvement within sport organizations. Specifically, athletes have identified the cultural and political environment, coaching and management style, and training and competition environment as common organizational stressors. These types of stressors can significantly impact an athlete's performance, their psychological state, and their personal development. Moving forward, it is important to understand how these settings may be designed to more positively influence those who work and train within them. While understanding the perspective of athletes is valuable, there are other individuals who play a role in shaping how sport organizations operate, and it is important to understand their perspectives. The purpose of this project was to explore key stakeholders' perceptions of how the structure of high-performance sport organizations in the UK supported the personal development of athletes. This research was approached from a critical realist perspective, and qualitative description was used to inform the project. Semi-structured interviews were conducted with 18 key stakeholders who worked in elite sport. Member reflections were used to gain additional insights from the participants, and the data was analyzed using the 6 phases of thematic analysis presented by Braun and Clark. Stakeholders described 9 different mechanisms of support for elite athletes, but emphasized the importance of performance lifestyle advisors, sports psychologists, and financial assistance for promoting athlete development. Performance lifestyle advisors were often identified as a primary source of support. It was explained that these advisors help athletes do things like find volunteering or employment opportunities and enroll in certificate or degree programs. Stakeholders also emphasized the value of sports psychologists for supporting athlete development and explained that the recent increase in focus on mental health has led to the development of new roles, including mental health managers and culture leads who both work to improve athlete well-being. Stakeholders felt that the increased focus on mental health had led to a drop in stigma and an increase in the amount of mental health training being offered to staff. Funding appeared to influence the support available to athletes at both the organizational and individual level. Organizations with higher levels of funding were able to provide their athletes with higher levels of support, and athletes who received more funding personally had access to more support through sport institutes. Stakeholders felt there was ample support available to athletes, but that some athletes were not open to accessing what was available to them. One sports psychologist said, "A decent number of athletes are just unwilling to sort of engage with the opportunities that are available to them." While some stakeholders felt that it was the responsibility of the athlete to engage with these supports, others felt that it was worth considering how the support that is available is advertised and presented. According to stakeholders, there was a lack of emphasis on supporting the mental health of staff. A senior physiotherapist said, "Sport organizations need to start considering the staff. I think athlete mental health is very well attended to. Staff and practitioner health and well-being, not at all." Several stakeholders also observed that despite the extensive support available to athletes, the focus on winning medals has led to an environment that discourages holistic athlete development. A sport physiologist said, "Programs need to be set up to consider what impact the environment has on future development. My concern is the mental well-being of the athletes. There are various things associated with that environment that are absolutely poisonous." The results indicate that the increased attention towards mental health has led to the development of positive support mechanisms for elite athletes in the UK. However, stakeholders identified aspects of the system that could be modified to more effectively support athlete development and well-being. Sport organizations could consider how the support that is available to athletes is made public and so advertised and delivered. For example, having retired athletes talk about the value of certain types of support or presenting information in new formats, such as via podcasts or YouTube videos, which may increase athlete engagement. It's also important that organizations develop programs to support their staff. Developing policies and support mechanisms designed specifically to decrease the amount of stress that support staff are experiencing is an important step forward. Stakeholders felt that while it was good athletes had access to so many different and effective modes of support, none of these addressed the systemic focus on winning medals and achieving peak performances, which some perceived to be the cause of decreased athlete well-being. One way to address this problem may be to broaden existing funding criteria. For example, in order to receive funding, organizations could be required to demonstrate the different ways they are supporting holistic athlete development. The knowledge gained from this project can be used to promote environments that foster positive athlete development and mental health, which is critical as we learn more about the impact that sport environments can have on an athlete's well-being. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me, and here are a list of references that I used.